Hi guys, today I want to show you how to install vinyl flooring. So it's the sticky back vinyl flooring that I purchased. It's just Traffic Master self-stick vinyl planks. It was 99 cents a square foot, so extremely inexpensive. I'm just installing it in a closet, so I didn't need anything too crazy, but I have seen this particular brand and style installed in kitchens, hallways, etc. I will say that if you are installing it in a high traffic area, you are going to want to take a few more precautions than I did. Again, I'm just installing it in a closet, a large hall closet, so I wasn't really concerned about how sticky it was, if it was really sticking well. So my methods may be a little less professional than what you would want to do. The directions on the back of the box of the vinyl planks are a little crazy. It's talking about doing a chalk line in the middle of the flooring and then kind of lining up from there. So I actually took measurements of my closet and wound up then putting it into a PowerPoint. So you can see it right here. So I have two different potential placements that I wanted to do. I wound up doing this bottom one right here, the one that's all in gray, because I wanted to use as much of the 36-inch planks as possible without a lot of waste. So my closet, you can see I have these white areas blocked out here and over here, and that's because my closet is oddly shaped. So again, I measured every single portion of my closet, and then I went into PowerPoint and just drew a box of the actual closet and then drew these other boxes to try to make the insets where it kind of changed and where the cuts were. I just did a proportional drawing here, so I just went into PowerPoint, and if it was 36 inches wide, I did 3.6 inches so that I could, just make it fit on a piece of paper here. And I literally just played around with this. So luckily my closet makes it so these are 6 inches wide, and my closet is the perfect depth that I was able to fit 6 rows down without any extra cuts in terms of the depth or the width of my closet. So that was perfect for me. And then again, I just played around with this so that I didn't have a lot of waste here. So I did want to stagger the actual planks. Not only is it better in terms of the fit and durability, especially again in the high traffic areas, but sometimes you can see the seams slightly with these vinyl planks, and I wanted to make sure that they weren't lining up with each other. I didn't want it to look like that. I wanted it to look a little bit more like wood, because these are the wood look vinyl planks. So after I was done this, I actually took the planks and actually cut them. So I'll show you an example of one of them here. Okay, so this one is actually 27 inches. I already cut this one. But what I did is I have my mat here. This is one of my best purchases, this mat. So if you've watched my unicorn headband video, I also use this. I use this for pretty much anything when I'm measuring. But you just want to kind of like push back the white paper on the back and just kind of line it up. I used the 5-inch mark here, and that's only because I wanted to be able to see all of the numbers down here, way down here. So I actually started with 5, and I lined this up. So I just pushed back the white piece, the white's backing, and lined it up here, and did the same thing at the end. So that I was able to line it up perfectly. And then all I'm using is a straight edge ruler. So again, I have used this in other videos as well. Mine's metal, you know, whatever you want to use. But I am just measuring the length. So if it is, my board or my mat is only 24 inches. This, for example, this one I wanted to cut at 27 inches and it was 36-inch boards. So I actually just took off 9 inches. So I actually started on this end and took off 9 because the mat was not long enough. So depending on how large of a mat you have, you may have to do it differently. But for this example, I'm just going to say that I wanted an 18-inch long board. So this is my 18-inch line right here. And I'm just going to match it up completely on both ends. Okay. And then I'm going to take my little roller, my cutter. This is, again, really, really great purchase. You can use this for a lot. All I'm trying to do is score this vinyl plank. So I'm going to undo it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hold the bottom part of my straight edge with my knee, and then I'm just going to push down on the top part with my hand. This will kind of keep it in place. And then I'm just going to score this right here. So again, this one I've already cut. So I can't show you, I can't actually cut it again, but I'm going to show you on one of my scrap pieces. Okay, so I just grabbed a scrap piece of board here, or a vinyl plank, to show you what you do after you actually score it. So I'm just going to make a cut here. So I'm just going to do it 10 inches, and this is just one of my scrap pieces. And like I said, we're going to actually score it. So all I'm doing is making a score mark. If you don't have one of these guys, you could use a razor blade, a X-Acto blade. But again, this is just way easier. And it's really hard to see, but I actually do have a little teeny tiny score mark, and you're not gonna be able to see it. But then to actually break it apart, I'm just gonna find that score mark. It's right here. And I'm just gonna take my hands right at that score mark and just break it and pop it. So really easily able to cut these with not a lot of tools. And then what I did is I used scissors to cut this so that I kept most of this backing on there. And now I have my pieces that I wanted. Once I cut a piece, I marked it. So I'm going to show you on this one right here. So for this one, it was 27 inches long, and then my extra 9-inch piece, I also marked that one. So I wasn't getting confused. I didn't have to remeasure. And like I said, with my chart, I was actually reusing a lot of the extra pieces. And then I also marked, if I was using it, what row and what placement. So I just did it from left to right. So this is row 6, place 1. So this would be on the left-hand side when I'm looking at my closet. So if I'm looking at my chart here, that would be this one right here. So row 6, placement 1. And then you can see here, again, a lot of these match up. So I kind of just matched them up for myself. This 12-inch piece is going to be the leftovers from this 24-inch piece. So again, I just would mark what the inches was and then what row and what placement each one was at. So it made it a lot faster when I went to install. So I cut all of mine to start with. I did have some issues where, again, like I said, my closet is not square. And I also had some plumbing that was popping up in there because it used to be where the washer and dryer was. So I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you how to do or to work around that. Okay, so apologies, it's a little dark in this closet because I'm actually underneath of my actual closet organizer that you're seeing up here. So there's a bit of a shadow. But I just wanted to show you, as I said, that I have this plumbing that's coming up through the floor, and that's where the washer drain was. So we have it capped because we're not using it anymore, but I needed to be able to get my flooring around that. So what I did was I actually just took a piece of board or cardboard. It didn't matter what the dimensions were. I just wanted to make sure that it was just kind of square on the edges. And I just kind of plugged it in here and just drew until I actually had the shape that I wanted. So I just drew the shape, cut it out, and you can see my cut here. And then I was able to actually use that and trace it onto my actual plank. And again, this is just because you don't want to waste these boards. You know, they're not expensive, but they're not cheap either. So if you have any cuts that you need to make in the actual boards, you're going to want to use it with cardboard first. So there was another spot that I needed to do this, and I do have one more spot where I do need to. So I'm just going to show you that. If we kind of move around here, and we're looking at this board right here. So this board actually needed to be cut so that I could fit it, because it actually went around this kind of cut here in the wall. So I needed to actually cut some of the board. Again, just did measurements and then you know, use the cardboard to make that cut. So you can see in some of these seams, they're not exactly square, and this was just really difficult to do. You know, my closet isn't perfectly square, and you know, it's an older home, but overall, it actually didn't turn out too bad. So this was the original flooring here, this really ugly linoleum that you're seeing here. And so what I wound up doing is I just cleaned it really good. So there are no directions on the box in terms of what you should be doing for this. So all I did was take hot water with a washcloth or a squeegee or something and just really cleaned the floor as best as I could so that the sticky back would stick as best as possible. I went right over this linoleum floor with the vinyl. Again, I'm doing it in a closet, so I wasn't as concerned about that. And then all you're doing is you're just kind of lining these up where they belong based on where I put them in my little sample. And you're just going to take off the sticky back right here. I'm just peeling this off and then just placing it in the spot that it goes. So I actually laid them out first. So I did a row at a time, laid it out, and then as long as it seemed like it was all fitting perfectly, I would actually take off the backs and actually install it. Now, when I put it in, I kind of did it lightly, even with the sticky back off, so that it wasn't sticking really great until I had them all in. So the last piece, a lot of the times I had to cut off maybe like not even an 1/8 of an inch. And again, because every single part of this closet is not perfectly square. And then once I made sure that everything was fitting really snug, then I would peel off the back and actually push it down. Now, usually when you are installing this kind of sticky back flooring, you want to use like a roller, and they sell them at Home Depot. I've used them before. Unfortunately, I did not have one with me because we are quarantined right now, so I did not have one available. So it seems crazy, but I actually used one of my stamper rollers to actually push down. Again, I'm doing this in the closet. I wasn't as concerned. And eventually I probably get one and do it. But if you don't have one in hand and you don't want to buy one, you could use something like that. You could even use something like a rolling pin. So the whole idea is to put pressure and to push down. So once you actually have it installed, you would push down and just give it a lot of pressure. And the whole point is just to kind of make sure that it's sticking here. So again, I used one of these guys, but eventually I will use probably one of those mallet rollers as well. And that's literally it. So it's really easy to install this vinyl sticky back flooring. So I wanted to show you how to do it and how easy it can be for a really inexpensive price. And you can do it yourself. Please feel free to let us know if you have any questions, and like and subscribe. Smiley says, Crafts and Kits.